Today, I am going to highlight some new functionality in the recently released 9.0.40 version of the connection broker as part of the Leostream platform. And that is really focused around launching PC over IP connections from a Leostream web client login. Now, why might you want to do that? You can always launch PC over IP connections through Leostream by logging in from any PC over IP client, be that Zero, Soft, or mobile. So why would you want to switch to the Leostream web client? Well, there's a couple of reasons you might want to do that, or at least two I can think of off the top of my head. First, if you want to leverage your SAML-based identity provider, so whether that be Azure AD or Okta or Duo, whatever identity provider you have, if it allows SAML-based logins, then you can have your users log in to your identity provider and have that redirect via a SAML assertion the user to Leostream. And then from within Leostream, you can launch the PC over IP client. So it gives you the high performance PC over IP protocol with that SAML-based login. And obviously that's great if you want to talk about zero trust architectures, because in the case of the user logging in through your IDP, your identity provider, the connection broker doesn't have or never holds the user's credentials. It only knows about the users, the information that the SAML-based IDP sends in the assertion. So we never touch your passwords. So that's one great thing, is to be able to use your SAML-based IDP with a PC over IP login. The other great thing is now, since you're using a Leostream client, that opens up the capability to launch different types of display protocols from the same Leostream login. Obviously, if I log into Leostream from a PC over IP client, I can launch PC over IP connections. Once you're talking about the web browser or web client login, you can launch PC over IP. Maybe you want to use a DCV connection up to an instance in AWS. Maybe it's a simple RDP connection to something else. You can do this all from a single login to Leostream. And I'll show that in action now as I share my screen. Hide. So here you see the Leostream web browser login. I'm going to log in first as a main administrator so you can see how I set this up to do the connections. The first thing I'll point out, you notice here I've got admin.html on the end. I actually have SAML-based logins enabled in my connection broker. So to access the administrator web interface, I need to actually append the admin.html URL on there. Otherwise, it's going to redirect me directly over to my SAML interface. So let's go ahead and log in as the main administrator. I'm not going to step you through a full demo. I'm just going to show you a couple of the key things you're going to see in this particular demo. First of all, if I look at my authentication servers, here you notice I am using Okta as a SAML-based IDP, so I'll show you that login when we look at an end user login. Then in here in configuration, what I'm going to do here is I have two pools. One pool is my PC over IP machine. I happen to be connecting to Windows. And then I am also going to show you a DCV connection kind of from the same Leostream login. These are both, in this case, running through, I should say running in AWS. So they're hosted up in my AWS web services. To establish the connections, I've created two separate protocol plans. The first is the PC over IP. Now, these forms for protocol plans are broken up into client types. So Leostream connects our software client. I'm obviously interested in the web browser login. So here, there's a new section down here for launching the PC over IP software client from the web browser. This utilizes the new capability in the software clients from Teradici to be launched from a URI. So what you do here, you enable it by setting the priority to 1. And then this is the IP address or host name of the PC over IP connection manager. So when you're looking at Teradici Cloud Access Software architectures, when used with Leostream, you will always have this other component, which is the PC over IP connection manager. It also includes a security gateway if you need to provide remote access. So this is that IP address. Essentially what Leostream will do when it launches the PC over IP software client is it will send the address of the Teradici connection manager as well as the address of the desktop you want to connect to, so that the connection manager can facilitate the end connection between the client and the PC over IP agent running on the VM. Now you can send default username and domain information to launch the PCoIP client with. Remember, in this case, we're logging in with a SAML-based login, so the broker doesn't have a password to send on to the remote desktop. The PCoIP agent, to log the user in, needs a password. So what you'll see in the demo is that we actually, once we launch the PCoIP client, we prompt the user to enter in the password, which will be used for the single sign-on on the operating system. Now, what happens if your Okta is in a domain, but you want a local user to log into the machine? Well, you can do some fancy things with these defaults to reset it to perhaps the machine name by using different, if I spell them correctly, dynamic tags in Leostream. So these are defaults that'll be sent. I'll show you in the demo where you'll see those. So that's my one. This section here is for launching actual PCoIP clients when you log in to the PCoIP client. So that's the thing to remember, is it's this section in the web browser sub area that applies here. Cancel that so I don't save my changes accidentally. Then you see I also have a protocol for launching DCV from the web browser. And in this case, it is going through our Leostream gateway. The connection to the PCoIP machine that I show you is going to go through the Teradici gateway. The DCV connection is going to go through the Leostream gateway. So I finally have a policy here that offers both of these, just so you can see one Leostream login, two different types of connections. So here I'm offering one machine from my PCoIP Windows pool, and down here I associate the protocol plan with it. And then I'm offering another machine from my DCV Windows pool, and down here is the protocol plan for DCV. Obviously, there's a lot of other options in these policies. You can look at different videos or give us a shout if you have questions about anything else in the policies. Finally, in the assignments, that's where the policy gets assigned to a user. So they're going to log in through Okta and SAML. So here I set up the way that user attributes from the SAML assertion get mapped to policies in Leostream. So in Okta, I have all of the groups redirecting through the assertion in an attribute named my groups. So if my group contains Leostream, I end up getting the PCoIP and DCV policy. And obviously I could set up more rows here, and the first row that the user satisfies is going to determine their policy. So to see this in action, let's take our broker address and just hit go for there. Now you see it redirected me. I tried, as an end user, I tried to get to the connection broker. The connection broker said, hey, you have to go through your SAML-based IDP. So it redirected here. Now I can log in as an end user, carefully typing my password. That is signing me back into the broker. And now here I am inside of Leostream with my two offers. If I press the PCoIP, I get a note saying that it's launching the PCoIP client. And there it is, launching the PCIP client. So here are those two defaults that I mentioned you can set. So the user doesn't have to pick a domain that's already set for them. Their username is entered, but they do need to enter their password here because originally the password was entered into Okta. Leostream doesn't have it to pass to the client. And then I can log in and I will be connected to that PCoIP machine. There you see it launching without and I have it opening small so I can see everything else on my screen. But it launched the PCoIP client and single signed me into the operating system. So there is that. But now here from the same login, I can actually come in here. Oh, it logged me out. I can come in here and launch the DCV connection. So in this case, there's a DCV session being launched on the machine. And now I can come in here again, since Leostream doesn't have passwords, the user will have to enter it again and connect into the Windows machine. This one I forgot to enter small screen, so I'll just log that out. And that is generally what I wanted to show you today. Again, launching PCoIP clients from web browsers. You don't have to do it through a SAML login, but it does give you a great way to leverage your SAML-based identity provider to log into your Leostream environment. If you want to just use username and password, or use username and password plus any kind of authentication server that supports the Radius protocol, you can use that for MFA. The key with Leostream is you have the flexibility to kind of design it and build it the way you need and give your users access to what they require. If you have any questions, you want to give it a try, just drop us a line at sales@leostream.com. Thanks.